Hi, welcome to another Power Blast podcast. So if you're one of those people that really wants to lose weight, but you dislike exercise, or maybe you struggle with nutrition, or maybe you can't exercise due to an injury or an illness, but you're still wanting to get some results, I have a special treat for you today on this podcast. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Perry Tinsley here, creator of the Power Blast podcast. I'm a health and fitness coach that loves to help people find their healthy formula, and I've got a treat for you today. My very special friend, special guest for this podcast, Ann Dovel, is on here, and she was a participant in the coach test group for a new revolutionary video-based weight loss program that's going to change your mindset about food, your body, and losing weight. It's called 2B Mindset, and the co-creator of that was Ilana Muhlstein, and she's the one that guides us through this program. And I believe that instead of diets that focus on foods that you can't eat, this is a very simple and easy approach that will just have you focusing on what you can eat to feel full, satisfied, in control, no counting calories or points or measuring food, stuff like that. So I am really excited for this interview with Ann, and she's going to tell you all about it and her experience and results. Let's get to it. Hey, everyone. We've got Ann Dovel here, who is over in just outside of Lincoln, Nebraska, right?
Right.
Hey, welcome to Power Blast Podcast. I've never had you on here as a guest.
Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming. We've been friends for like way back. We were both in the P90X infomercial together.
Yes, we were. And on the message boards, the old ones.
And on the message boards.
Yeah.
Oh, you were Ann D, right? Was that?
I was P90Xer initially, or Love P90X. I can't remember. Back when they let you put that in your name.
Okay.
And then I became Andy, I think, when they had us take that out of our names. But
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad to have you on here. And man, all the different workout programs and all the different events that we've been able to get to and chat with. And I can't believe this is the first time to be on the podcast. But here we are. You are going to share your journey today because you just got to go through a really cool process with a new program coming up called 2B Mindset. And it's not an exercise program, but maybe you can give a little description of it, and then how you got to be you were part of a coach test group. Is that what it was?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. And just what your experience was. And to tell you the truth, with 2B Mindset, I have only seen little clips of what the program is kind of about, but that's it. I haven't been able to hear too much about the people that went through it, other than people were really loving the results. So, Ann, welcome. I'm going to turn it over to you and just kind of share, maybe why don't we start with, how did you get into the group, and, what was it like, and what were your results for it?
Well, I got into the group because I think they had already done one coach test group. And then Milan, our mutual friend Milan, was invited to be in another test group, and they asked, do you know anybody else? And she knew that even though I'd done P90X, I'd been in that infomercial, 10 years ago, 8 years ago? I can't remember. Long time ago.
Yeah.
I had kind of stalled out at age 52, and I just figured, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. What am I doing wrong, Perry? That's what I kept asking, because I'm doing I could go through P90X, and I get stronger. And more flexible, but my weight wouldn't change. Mm-hmm. And so I got into the test group, and the first for 2B Mindset, which is coming out in May. Very excited about that. And I really just kept an open mind because, what was I going to say? There is no exercise component to it. And so, and coming from the last 11 years of exercise, this is, this comes first. And then, of course, if you want to have good results, you eat better, right? Well, I decided I just jumped in with both feet, and it's a nutrition program And exercise is considered extra credit. Now, it's encouraged, but you and I both know that we have a lot of friends who the exercise part of it is just discouraging. And so then they don't do anything.
Okay.
So with the 2B mindset, I didn't exercise the first month that I did it, aside from going out for a really light stroll, light walk, going up and down the steps, that kind of stuff. A little bit of yoga. I lost 9 pounds in 4 weeks, where I had not seen anything budge, for the last year. And after the first week, I could predict if I was going to see the scale move the next morning. And I'd get on the scale and woohoo, it's down another 0.2. It just became very predictable. And I don't know if you remember when we were both doing P90 back in the day before P90X.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time I did Power 90, where all I knew was to not eat after supper. We did the Mishy's ladder. It was very, very simple. And you just did the workout every day. When I did that program, very predictably, I lost 1 to 2 pounds a week. Simple, direct. And that's how it felt. It's every week I was losing another couple of pounds. And my friends in the test group were as well. So you asked me before when we were just chit-chatting,
mm-hmm.
One of the things I really love about it is it doesn't feel restrictive. Now I know some of my friends do really well with containers, right? Measuring each little thing that they eat. I can stick to that about 2 days before I lose a container or the container's dirty and so I don't use it, and then I'm back to guessing. I don't do well if I have to keep track of a list of things and write down the number of calories and the number of fat grams. That lasts me a couple of days. This was so simple. And a lot of the things that I cut out of my diet over the last 5 years, because, you keep learning more and more things. This is really healthy. And, somebody will say this isn't. I added those things back in and I was still losing weight and happy. And one of the things Ilana talks about is, lose weight happily. And I thought, what? But after about the second week, that's how I felt. It's just happy because I've got my happy foods back. I just know when to eat them and when not to eat them. And I know that if I eat them, it's not gonna ruin my life. I just have to keep track of it and see how my body reacts to it and go the next day. There's no falling off the wagon. It's just a completely different mindset. So I am back to exercising.
Because, it's interesting because, when it comes down to losing weight, we know it's going to take work. And a lot of times it's feeling like we're going to deprive ourselves. We know what healthy foods are, and we've got all these options in the cupboard that will maybe hide back there, but we know they're there and easily accessible. And then sometimes it gets to be where your guard is down, you're stressed out, whatever. All of a sudden you're binge eating, or like you said, you're not measuring or staying whatever. So this healthy eating or following a nutrition plan, I think for a lot of people, we think harder work than getting in a workout. So happily eating, how does this make it different? And was it work?
Well, there is a little bit. There is a little bit of work. There's tracking,
okay,
but not figuring it down to this is how many calories I ate today. This is how many calories I burned. Nothing like that. She has this really, and I think I can share this now because it's not released yet. But there are pictures of the tracker now where you visually plate it. So your breakfast meal is a certain proportion. Mm-hmm. So whatever proportion of protein to carbs. And then your lunch has certain proportions and your supper has certain proportions. It was so simple, Perry, that the second week I was on a cruise. Go on a cruise, right? When you're in a weight loss test group, fun. Okay. It was so simple. I already had in my mind the proportions that each meal should be and how to plate it. Mm-hmm. and I didn't gain weight on the cruise the whole week.
Wow.
So it's very simple. Anybody can do it.
That's cool. So, I mean, I would, whatever you can share, I don't know how it's structured as far as the program goes. I mean, obviously, there must be some tools and resources that you're going through and setting yourself up for success in some sort of way. And then like you're following a day-to-day plan, or you're getting to vary it up, or there's certain days to eat certain foods. I mean, I'm just going off of other plans that I've done in the past, and this probably very, very different.
Yes, it just feels like freedom. That's just how I have felt this whole time. And it'll just be my lifestyle from now on. No matter what workout I'm doing, I can eat this way, and I know I'm going to have way better results from my workout program. And I've started working out again after the first month of the test group, but really 20, 30 minutes a day, nothing nearly as intense as some of the stuff that we've done. And I see results just automatically. It's just, so the tools that they've already shown, and you can find them online. The tracker, they've got a really nice tracker booklet. All we had for the test group was one of those pieces of paper that we just copied off. Mm-hmm. And then there's a bunch of videos, and Ilana, the videos are ranging from here are the different types of food groups. Here's what fits into this particular food group. And here's what she calls, instead of bad foods, like don't go near these, there's really no bad foods. Here's this food, and it's probably not going to be the best for you, but let's call that a silly, those are silly calories, instead of, oh, I shouldn't be eating that, right? And just little, and she has a bunch of catchphrases, and I don't know if I'm supposed to share the catchphrases yet, but little catchphrases that stick in your head.
Okay.
That when like when you're done with your evening meal, there's a little catchphrase that helps you remember, okay, that's it for tonight, right? And so you do track, and obviously with the kit, they're going to have a cool water bottle. Mm-hmm. So you know that water's a big component, didn't matter which program you're doing, water's a big one, but they're going to make it a lot more fun, a lot easier. And then the tracker sheets and the videos. And her videos, she's just a lovely person. And her story, she's been there. She's been where a lot of us haven't been. She was obese as a child. She's got a really good story, and that's why she became a registered dietitian, and why she developed this program over the last several years. So, but yeah, there's tracking to be done, and I can just honestly tell you that when I'm tracking and doing the steps that she has laid out, I see the scale drop.
Wow.
But if the scale goes up, it doesn't freak me out, because it can go down as fast as it can go up.
That's pretty cool. It sounds very, I think this is going to be a game changer for people, just from what I've seen and from what you've just shared, that it just sounds a lot more liberating, and creating just kind of a mindset shift on how we think about the choices that we make with certain foods. Does that seem on par?
Yeah. Even bacon. So for instance, bacon. A lot of people don't touch the bacon, right? I mean, just cut that out of your life, right? But she says, so you love bacon. Okay, let's find a way. Here's how you can have it in your diet. Mm-hmm. In one of the videos. Now, it's probably not going to be 4 slabs of bacon and an egg, right? But you use it to flavor instead of using it as, a meat, which is not. Those kind of things. I mean, we haven't had commercial salad dressing in the house for years, and I still like to make my own. But it was nice. It was nice to find out that, I can have a little bit of ranch. I can have a little bit of blue cheese, and here's how, and here's when, and here's why. And it was just, it's everything like that has been, excuse me. It's just been that whole process. And after losing 9 pounds, it felt, even though there's work, it just felt effortless. And liberating. That's a good word. It's liberating. And I could eat on the cruise this way and nobody knew any different. It didn't look like I was trying to be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yes, I like it.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point where a lot of times when you're following a nutrition program or an eating plan of some sort, you're cutting things out or you're restricting yourself in some sort of way that when you do go to certain events, a lot of times I'm speaking for just things that I did in the past where there would probably be things that I would avoid. Like, for instance, going to a Sunday brunch of some sort, I would come up with an opt-out situation to where I didn't even have to face that, so that I wasn't tempted with all these great foods and overeating and stuff like that. It was just better to not go. But then you weren't together for the purpose of what that, could have, the experience of what it was to get together with friends, family, whoever it was, for the sake of, I don't want to derail my results. But it sounds like, I mean, going on a cruise, and that's usually all inclusive. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I did make better choices, but I didn't stick out. You know, it wasn't, I wasn't miserable while everybody else was having what they wanted. And honestly, a cruise, the cruises we were on, there's so much good food. And if you have a clear plan and you know how to choose well, you can get totally satisfied. Totally satisfied.
That's awesome.
But
I'm guessing those tips get shared.
Pardon?
And I'm guessing this plan helps people with travel, with eating out at restaurants, with going on vacation, stuff like that. You get tips and ideas and strategies that way.
Oh yeah, Ilana has videos on how to make it through family events or any kind of social events that you go to. Here's how do you prepare for it, and here's what you do if you come home and realize you've eaten or drank way too much, right? She also has a video, really great video on the supermarket, going through your supermarket. And I don't know about you, but I've had a lot of people tell me when they start a plan that scares them to death to go into the supermarket after they started, because it's just so overwhelming, And she goes through and she just teaches some very common sense. And she goes aisle by aisle in her video. And it's really good. It makes you, and it also helps you think then when you're in the supermarket yourself, oh, this is what I need to look for. And she doesn't rule out convenience foods, which is, for years I've tried to make everything. I cut out any kind of convenience food. But here's some healthy convenience foods so that you can have a meal on the table in 5 minutes, so that you aren't tempted to go and eat something else, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, I just love it. I can't wait. I can't wait for it to launch. When they told us, when we were in the test group, it was 2 months from launch, and we've got people that need this, that want this, and they're waiting. So
yeah, who do you see this program being for? I mean, obviously we could say anybody, but
well, the first people that come to mind are those that I've talked to, that really want to lose weight and they want to be healthy, but the exercise part just stops them, and so then they don't get started with the nutrition either. Right. Also, I've talked to quite a few people in other local diet plans who are tired of points and that kind of thing, where I talked to a lady just the other day. She said, she asked me for information, because she didn't want to count points. And so people are frustrated like I was and trying to figure out, why was I not losing weight when I'm doing so much work? And we all know it's nutrition, but I found out that I was eating a few too many healthy foods, and at the wrong times. And I just switched my percentages around and my meals, and then the scale just goes down. It's kind of fun.
Wow. So. Yeah, because that's what I was wondering. Is like, okay, what did you switch?
Well, I don't know if I can tell you that specifically.
Okay.
I think,
But
because
well, I think you kind of
I
gave
didn't look at the do's and don'ts before we got on here. I think I've been pretty safe so far, but there
that's
are
okay. Yeah.
percentages for the meals.
Yeah, we probably prematurely jumped on here with sharing results and stuff like that, and things like that. But well, with in regards to what can be shared, but I think we've got a really pretty good picture. But it sounds like the people from the group were really happy with the results. I mean, whether any you don't have to name names, but just people that are just like, oh my gosh, this it just was the hugest game changer for this person or life changer.
I've got 2 friends in the group that I've known for the last 12 years. And one of them, this is the first time she's been below a certain weight since 2004. And it's been life changing. We talk about it being a game changer in our industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's just life changing. It's not just a game changer, it's life changing. So
that's cool.
and she,
I'll go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
How long is the program, or how long will it take somebody to get it down?
I understood it after a week. Depending on how much weight you want to lose, months.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see results if you're honest with your tracker. If you're following along, I think you'll see results in the first 2 weeks. And that, at least in our test group, and there were 150 people in there.
Wow.
Almost everybody saw some positive result in the first 2 weeks. So.
That's a big thing with is getting those quick wins. When it comes to any program, you want to see that. And a lot of times people will start a workout program and they'll retain water weight. The scale will go up. And it's interesting you talk about the scale, and maybe we're going to allude to that, but in a bit, because I'm a person who's like, screw that scale. I mean, it just gets in your head, and then that doesn't define you. So maybe we could talk about that in a second. But I think sometimes people will get deflated really quick. And maybe this is another thing that you can talk about is once you've completed the program, I know people have tried, done our 21-day program. Maybe they stayed on it. Maybe they didn't, as far as stuck with it for the whole 21 days, whatever. But then once it's done, like people are like, okay, I'm going back to what I was doing before, where this continues moving forward. So scale, and then just moving forward to make this a life changer and continuing for life. So any thoughts on the scale stuff?
The scale is an important part of the program, and it's again a mindset issue. It's a mindset around the scale as a tool, not the determining factor of how you feel about yourself. It's really data. It's just really important data. And she teaches you all about that in one of the videos. She teaches why it's important and how you use the scale properly. Totally changed the way I was using the scale. And about the water weight, somebody asked about that because they start exercising, and she said, well, usually with her clients, what she has found out is what happens a lot of times, and that there is a factor because we tear our muscles, and then we retain because we're trying to heal. But she said more often it's because we've overestimated how many calories we've burned, and then we underestimate how much food we're eating in return for that. And so a lot of times somebody will go to the gym or will exercise and subconsciously in our mindset, without even thinking about it, I ate. I mean, I exercised. I burned 556 calories according to this watch, right? Mm-hmm. So that means really I could probably have an extra piece of toast. Yeah. Right? I mean, and we do it probably without thinking. So she says with all of her clients, more often than not, it's overestimating the calorie burn that you actually get from a workout and then overcompensating for that without thinking about it. Maybe an extra scoop of whatever. Yeah. So there's just so much, she has so much knowledge and so much, I'm talking about Ilana, the nutrition, the registered dietitian. She has so much knowledge and so much experience working with her own private clients. out in California. Anytime we had a situation, she could answer it with her own personal experience. And I really look up to her. She's really fantastic. Now, was there a second question that I didn't answer?
There probably was, but
You said 1, the scale.
All right, guys, chime in here if you're listening to the podcast.
Lifestyle. I don't think there's any end. They do make the tracker 90 days.
Okay.
But for all of us, most of us, I would say that I know of in the test group, it is now, it's a lifestyle thing. It's something that you can continue. It's not something that you start. Okay, well, 30 days is up. That's it. Some of the people that I know that have been in the test group, the first one, like a year and a half ago, they are still dropping and still maintaining. And it just becomes a lifestyle. So then if you are working out like you do all the time, Perry, she tells you, here's what you do with your same proportions of food. But she tells you, she has a little way of telling you, here's how you know if you need more, and here's how to go about it so that you're fully satisfied. I haven't been hungry, really. And I'm, so.
That's cool. So you're going through the program. That's awesome with the lifestyle, because that's a lot of times I think you get with the people you coach, I get with the people I coach. That's what they're wanting is lifestyle habits. And they a lot of times, and I was talking with Judy, one of our friends that went through the coach group, and she's like, I just finally did the things I know I was supposed to be doing. And continuing that on, I think that's a big thing. How, as you're going through the program, and I don't know if it's a video a day or if it's just, video tip a week and then you're following whatever. How key was the support and the engagement in the group that you have in going through the process?
Oh, the group was really important. I think you and I both know how different it is to be moving in the same direction with a group of people. Mm-hmm. And so it's, if somebody was having an off day, they weren't happy with something, or somebody was having a great day, everybody showed up, because the group needs you, whether you need the group or the group needs you. And so somebody, and some of the fun things that we did in our groups was post, well, here's something that I'm eating. This took 5 minutes to make. Here's a treat that I had. So the group was really instrumental, and several of us have supported each other outside the group. So groups are good. Groups are really, really good. I like to have the support, and I know that when I don't show up, I fudge a little bit more on but also with everything that Ilana taught us, there was no shame. So it was okay to come in the group and say, I had an ice cream cone with sprinkles last night. It was okay. And nobody was, oh man, I can't believe, get back on the wagon. It was okay. So write it down. How much did you have approximately? Did you quantify it? Write it down, put it in your list, and start. And there really is no, let's wait till Monday to start, because Monday's going to be the perfect day to start, because then I can, life is every day. So I don't wait. If I mess up, the old mindset, if I mess up on Thursday, I'm not waiting till Monday to get back to my tracker sheet. I just write it down. Okay, there it is. Right? There it is. I ate that. It's okay. What am I going to do at the next meal? And I can choose. A lot
of stuff. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Because
I know I'm going a lot of directions.
We have a lot of start and stop sort of things. I got to start over.
Yeah.
And I like how you said that. It's not waiting till Monday. We have to live every day. However you worded that, I'll have to rewind and capture that Ann Dovel quote. It was awesome.
Rabbit tail we were on.
Yeah. That's really good. That's really powerful. And I know for those of you listening out here, I think, Ann, you're going to be part of this. A few others of us are going to be leading or being a part of a group once this fully launches. I think it comes out officially May 2nd, 2018. So I don't know when our group is officially going to start. I'm sure not everybody's going to get right there on the 2nd, but maybe the 3rd. But anyway,
I don't remember the date. I think it's second-ish.
Second-ish. Yeah, it's somewhere in there. And for those of you that have, it's going to be within. This is not going to be on DVD, correct? This is going to be will you either stream it to your computer or stream it to your Roku. It will be within the Beachbody On Demand library, but it's not like it's its own separate section. Okay,
Right.
and it won't be a lot of our workouts that get put into Beachbody On Demand. They're just there. They're just automatically part of the program. This will be a separate purchase. It's a totally separate program, but when you log into Beachbody On Demand, if you purchase that program, it will magically show up, right? And if you haven't purchased it, you won't even see it. I don't think.
I think the tab will still be there.
Maybe the tab will still be there.
The tab is going to be there.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't have to be a Beachbody On Demand either to access it. You can get to that tab.
Okay.
It's a one-time purchase. It's not a subscription. We're a Beachbody On Demand subscription base. To Be Mindset is a one-time purchase. Rest of your life, you can have access to all those videos. I know the question you asked me, Perry.
What did I ask you?
Well, you asked about a video a day, or is there a tip a day?
Yeah.
We don't know that.
Okay.
But we do know that video library is in there. When we were in the test group, we were given all 40 videos that were uncut yet. I watched them all in a couple of days because I was just, tell me more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm anxious to go now back through them at a little slower pace and really absorb what Ilana's teaching in all the videos. So
let's, I think a lot of us would love to hire a dietitian, nutritionist, and have our own. And it's kind of back like when we wished we had our own personal trainer, and now we've got that with our workouts. Now we've got a program that can really help a lot of people. I think even if it isn't the person that's struggling with the nutrition component, but if it's somebody that just wants to really dial in the mindset about food, the mindset about being happy. How did you say just being happy?
Happily losing weight happily.
Losing weight happily.
I know it sounds really strange to be happy about a weight loss program, but I'm really happy about it. It's just, I just felt joyful. I feel joyful when I'm doing it. So, and weight loss, I think in the 3rd week, I was talking to Milan or somebody else, and I said, I just feel like this is it. I feel like I will never, ever have to, weight loss is not a concern anymore. It's just, it's just not. And so when and I asked the question, can you imagine where all the time that I've spent worrying about weight loss or worrying about weight gain, and I can free up all of that time now because I don't have to have that going on in my head anymore. What am I going to do with all that time? Because it's not something I have to worry about.
That's huge. It's really huge because I know people are like, you know what, I just need to stop eating, but they're hungry and they want food, and there's just this constant battle of not feeling confident about themselves. The weight gain's still happening, and there's this like, it's not even ebb and flow. It's just not going in the direction they want, and it's just constantly in your head. And I think. I even think, back when you and I did P90X, I know my first time through, it was a very complicated eating plan, and I did not follow it. I just had some recipes. I had a hard time doing it. I got done. I had pretty darn good results, but I was beating myself up in my head because I knew that I didn't follow the eating plan as well as I could have. And there was some pizza and there was some beer and all this stuff. And so I'm having this, I'm spending energy where it didn't need to be doing that. And then I'm like, okay, my results could have been so much better. yet here the story got used in an infomercial and all this stuff. But but I'm still being my own worst critic. And I'm like, oh, I got to dial it in. I got to be better, and almost into an obsession sort of thing. And it would be so liberating and freeing to not have to go through that way of thinking,
Yeah. And I'm actually excited now to try P90X again. Just eating the way I am now and see what happens.
Hey, I've got a group that's starting. You should join me. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to start at the end.
Because I love P90X.
We're going to start at the end of April, which is kind of interesting because just a few days later, there's this new program. I don't know if you've heard about it before, but it's called 2B Mindset is coming out.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
Oh, man. Well, you'll have to check out the podcast with Ann Dovel. She tells you all about it. So, no, it's really cool.
Cool.
That's great timing. And I didn't plan it that way. It just happened to work out. And we've got a small group. So that would be a lot of fun. If you join us that way, and for any of you out there listening, you can send in the email, perrytinsley@gmail.com, or comment below or whatever. And if you want to be part of that P90X group, we're going to do it. And any final thoughts with this 2B mindset? I don't even know what this 2B stands for. I'm sure we're going to find out.
You'll find out when you watch the videos. 2B. That's a little hint right there.
Okay.
Probably if you follow Ilana on Instagram, you'll figure it out.
Okay.
I think she's hinted about it. But it's just a fun way to remember the 4 principles, and the 4 principles are really easy. And she gives them to you like this, and you'll figure it out. 2B, you'll figure it out.
That'll be great. What's Ilana's? You know what, people? I'll post in the show notes links to Ilana's. I don't even know what's Ilana's last name. I don't know.
I think Muhlstein, but I'm not sure how to pronounce it.
Okay. We'll post Ilana's like a link. She's got a YouTube channel, and she also has Instagram as well. And then you can also go onto Facebook and just do a search for 2B, the number 2, the letter B, and then the word mindset. And you can find all about that. You can check where can people find more information about Ann Dovel, and if somebody's wanting to connect with Ann and ask more questions, where can they find you at?
Just on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
I mostly post about my quilting on Instagram and Facebook, because that's my favorite hobby. And so that's what I post a lot about.
That's awesome.
And now I have a lot more time because I'm not constantly trying to figure out what to eat and when to eat. It's pretty fantastic.
Life is good. Life keeps getting better.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool. And you said you lost 9 pounds. How long was it that the 9 pounds?
I lost 9 pounds in 1 month.
Wow. That's a really
that included the week of the cruise.
That included so 9 pounds in 1 month. 1 week was on a cruise ship with an all-inclusive, and since then continuing to lose weight or maintaining.
Yeah, maintaining. I'm not trying to lose real fast now, so but maintaining it. But I know that if I want to lose the next 2 pounds, I know exactly what to do. Wow. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Well, Ann, thank you so much for coming on Power Blast Podcast, sharing your story, revealing some hints about 2B mindset. I know there were some things you had to hold back on, but it's so awesome. And I can't wait for the people who want to join our group to be in that first wave of when it's released. That'll be awesome. So thanks so much, my friend.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. Have a great day.
That was totally awesome. You know what? If you want to be a part of our group, you can email me, perrytinsley@gmail.com, or even comment below. I think I referred to it in the podcast, how you can get a hold of us. But if you'd like to be a part of the, kind of that pioneer in share, getting results as soon as possible with this program, getting access to it, and then being motivated and supported within our group, you'll want to connect with us as soon as possible. We're probably going to start that officially mid-May sometime, but you don't want to wait. You can get it as soon as May 2nd comes along. But I want to make sure that you get the right information. So you can reach out to Ann Dovel, or you can reach out to me, and we can get you that information. Or if you've got a Beachbody coach, go ahead and reach out to that person, and they can get you the information, get you set up with what you need so you get access to it right away. And I so appreciate you for coming on here. And if you found this beneficial, please share this podcast. And if you get on the podcast app or even in iTunes and give this an honest rating and review, it will reach so many more people. You absolutely rock, my friend. And as always, remember,
It's
never too late. We'll see you next week.